To understand why certain states may not be ideal for Black individuals considering relocation, it is essential to examine the historical context that has shaped the racial landscape across America. The legacies of slavery, segregation, and systemic racism have left indelible marks on many regions, influencing both social dynamics and economic opportunities. In the early years of American history, slavery established a foundation of racial inequality, particularly in southern states where this practice was deeply entrenched. Even after the Civil War and the abolition of slavery, the emergence of Jim Crow laws reinforced segregation and discrimination, effectively barring Black Americans from equal access to education, employment, and housing. These historical injustices have created long-standing disparities that continue to affect generations. States that were either strongholds of slavery or had harsh segregation policies often carry remnants of these practices into modern times. In some areas, systemic racism manifests through inequitable laws, biased policing practices, and discriminatory lending. For example, certain regions may still reflect the impacts of redlining, where Black families were excluded from home ownership opportunities, leading to significant wealth gaps that persist today. Moreover, the cultural memory of these injustices can influence social attitudes. In states where racial discrimination has been institutionalized, there may be a prevailing mindset that sustains biases against Black communities. This can lead to hostile environments that discourage migration for those seeking a supportive and welcoming atmosphere. Recognizing these historical factors is crucial for understanding the contemporary realities faced by Black individuals in various states. By acknowledging the shadows of the past, potential movers can make informed decisions about where to settle, aiming for locations that foster equity and inclusivity, rather than perpetuate cycles of inequality. As potential movers evaluate their options, it is crucial to consider the economic landscape of various states, particularly when it comes to opportunities for Black individuals. Employment rates, wage disparities, and overall access to job opportunities can vary significantly from one state to another, impacting long-term stability and prosperity. In many states identified as less favorable for Black residents, employment rates may reveal troubling trends. Higher unemployment statistics among Black workers often reflect systemic barriers to entering the workforce or advancing within it. Wage gaps also compound these challenges, with studies showing that Black employees frequently earn less than their white counterparts, despite having similar qualifications and experience. In states where these disparities persist, the economic prospects for Black families can be disheartening. Additionally, the availability of diverse job opportunities plays a significant role in determining economic mobility. States with limited industries or a concentration in low-wage sectors may not provide the fertile ground necessary for career growth. For instance, areas heavily reliant on agriculture or manufacturing might lack positions that pay living wages or offer benefits essential for a stable livelihood. Furthermore, wage discrimination can discourage skilled Black professionals from relocating to certain areas. If states do not actively foster equitable hiring practices or promote inclusive workplace environments, talented individuals may feel marginalized and underappreciated. It's important to also consider regional economic initiatives aimed at improving conditions for underserved populations. States that prioritize workforce development and provide resources for entrepreneurs can attract Black residents seeking better economic stability. Ultimately, understanding these economic factors is critical. They not only inform individual decisions, but also highlight which states may stifle opportunity compared to those offering pathways toward prosperity. An essential factor to consider when evaluating potential relocation states is the quality of their educational systems. Education is a cornerstone for upward mobility, yet disparities in funding, resources, and student outcomes often disproportionately affect Black students, creating a landscape where access to quality education can greatly vary. In many states that are less favorable for Black residents, public schools in predominantly Black neighborhoods frequently face chronic underfunding. This results in fewer resources for essential programs such as advanced placement classes, extracurricular activities, and access to technology, all of which are critical for fostering a well-rounded education. School funding is often tied to local property taxes, meaning that economically disadvantaged areas continue to struggle while wealthier districts thrive. This practice perpetuates a cycle of inequality. Moreover, the teacher workforce is often less experienced in underfunded schools, exacerbating educational disparities. Teachers in these areas may lack adequate support or training, leading to higher turnover rates and disrupting the continuity of education for students. Studies have shown that Black students perform better academically when taught by educators who understand their cultural backgrounds and needs. Therefore, a lack of representation among teaching staff can hinder relational dynamics in the classroom. Outcomes also tell an important story. In states with significant educational inequities, graduation rates for Black students tend to lag behind their white peers. The implications are profound. Students who do not graduate or receive subpar education are often left with limited job opportunities, perpetuating cycles of poverty and disenfranchisement. Ultimately, examining education quality is crucial when considering relocation. States that invest in equitable educational solutions not only foster better learning environments, but also empower future generations to break free from systemic barriers, promoting a pathway towards success and fulfillment. As Black individuals contemplate moving to different states, an examination of crime rates and safety is paramount. High levels of violent crime can create an atmosphere of fear and instability, but it is essential to consider not just the statistics but also the nature of police interactions with Black communities and the systemic biases that often exacerbate these issues. Many states with rising crime rates have attempted to address safety concerns. However, the responses frequently reflect deeper societal problems. In areas where violent crime is prevalent, there may be a greater police presence. Unfortunately, this can lead to heightened tensions between law enforcement and Black communities, as aggressive policing tactics disproportionately target racial minorities. Data indicates that Black individuals are more likely to be stopped, searched, or arrested compared to their white counterparts even when crime rates are similar, a clear manifestation of systemic bias. Moreover, the relationship between crime rates and community safety is complex. Areas with high crime often suffer from economic decline and insufficient social services, which can contribute to increased criminal activity. The repercussions of high crime rates coupled with biased policing not only perpetuate cycles of mistrust, but also deter potential residents who seek a safe environment for their families. Feeling unsafe due to the threat of violence or biased interactions with police can lead to significant mental health challenges within communities. For those contemplating relocation, understanding the interplay between crime statistics and community safety is crucial. States with lower overall violence rates and a commitment to fair policing practices can offer a sense of security and belonging, while others may perpetuate fear and inequality. Ultimately, investigating crime rates alongside community police relationships provides a fuller picture of what life might look like in potential new homes, guiding individuals toward states where they can thrive without the weight of systemic biases weighing them down. Another critical aspect to consider when evaluating potential states for relocation is healthcare access and the disparities that often affect Black residents. Access to quality healthcare plays a fundamental role in overall well-being, yet significant challenges persist in many areas across the United States. In several states identified as less favorable for Black individuals, healthcare systems may be stretched thin, leading to inefficiencies and longer waiting times for appointments. Rural or economically disadvantaged urban areas often result in fewer hospitals and clinics, limiting access to essential medical services. The lack of proximity to healthcare resources can deter individuals from seeking help, which exacerbates existing health issues and leads to poorer health outcomes. Health insurance coverage is another pivotal factor. States that have not expanded Medicaid under the Affordable Care Act tend to leave many low-income families without adequate insurance options, disproportionately affecting Black communities who are statistically more likely to experience unemployment or low-wage jobs. Without insurance, individuals face significant barriers when attempting to obtain routine checkups or preventative care, resulting in a higher prevalence of chronic conditions such as hypertension and diabetes. Furthermore, experiences of discrimination within healthcare settings can lead to distrust and reluctance among Black patients when seeking treatment. Reports suggest that Black individuals are often undertreated for pain or receive subpar care compared to their white counterparts due to implicit biases within medical practice. These disparities not only impact individual health but also perpetuate larger community health crises. Ultimately, assessing healthcare accessibility involves understanding both systemic issues within local health systems and the broader socio-cultural barriers faced by Black residents. Identifying states that prioritize equitable healthcare access, providing comprehensive services and effective public health strategies can empower individuals in their pursuit of healthy lives and thriving communities. Housing discrimination is another significant factor that Black individuals must consider when evaluating relocation options. Unfortunately, discriminatory practices and policies have historically shaped the housing landscape in the United States, leaving enduring impacts that affect access to homeownership and quality living environments for Black communities. One of the most notorious examples of housing discrimination is redlining, a practice where financial institutions and government agencies would mark neighborhoods predominantly inhabited by Black residents as high-risk zones. This effectively denied residents access to mortgages and other lending opportunities, trapping them in cycles of poverty and disinvestment. Although redlining was officially outlawed in the 1960s, its legacy lingers. Many neighborhoods still bear the scars of underinvestment, leading to reduced property values and lower community resources. Additionally, modern-day discriminatory lending practices continue to hinder Black families' ability to achieve homeownership. Studies show that Black applicants are often denied loans at higher rates compared to white applicants, even when they have similar financial profiles. This systemic bias not only limits immediate housing options but also perpetuates wealth inequality across generations, since homeownership is a primary avenue for building wealth in the U.S. Moreover, once Black families do manage to secure housing, they may face further discrimination from landlords or homeowners associations that impose unfair restrictions or display biases based on race. Such experiences can lead to significant emotional distress and contribute to feelings of exclusion within their communities. Given these challenges, it is crucial for potential movers to thoroughly research local housing policies and practices before making a decision. Identifying states with proactive measures against discrimination, such as enforcing fair housing laws and promoting equitable lending practices, can help ensure a more secure and inclusive living environment for Black individuals seeking a place to call home. As Black individuals consider relocating, the presence and strength of community support networks can significantly influence their experience and integration into a new environment. These networks can play a crucial role in providing resources, assistance, and opportunities for connection, helping to mitigate many challenges faced by Black residents in various states. In some areas, established organizations focused on supporting Black communities can offer invaluable services such as mentorship programs, job training, and legal assistance. These resources not only empower individuals to navigate systemic barriers but also foster a sense of belonging among community members. For instance, local chapters of national organizations like the NAACP or the Urban League can serve as platforms for advocacy and activism, amplifying the voices of Black residents while addressing issues such as civil rights and economic equity. Conversely, states with limited or fragmented community support may exacerbate challenges for Black individuals. In regions lacking robust networks, residents may feel isolated and unsupported, which could lead to feelings of disenfranchisement. The absence of organizations that cater to their needs can hinder access to critical resources such as employment opportunities, healthcare information, or social services. The dynamic nature of these support networks also extends to grassroots initiatives that arise in response to specific local needs. Community-led programs addressing food insecurity or mental health awareness can provide vital lifelines for families facing adversity. These initiatives foster resilience within Black neighborhoods and enable collective action towards improving local conditions. Ultimately, identifying states with strong community support structures is essential for Black individuals contemplating relocation. Access to supportive organizations that advocate for racial equality and provide tangible assistance can be a game changer, ensuring that new residents have the tools needed to thrive while navigating their new environments. Recognizing the strength of community connections can empower individuals to build fulfilling lives in their chosen locations. As Black individuals weigh their options for relocation, evaluating the political climate of potential states is crucial. The political environment can significantly influence civil rights, voting access, and representation for Black communities, thereby affecting the overall quality of life and opportunities available. In many states, legislation impacting civil rights can either uplift or undermine the experiences of Black residents. States with progressive policies that protect against discrimination and promote equity are more likely to foster environments where Black individuals feel valued and heard. Conversely, states that roll back civil rights protections or enact voter suppression laws can create hostile conditions, making it difficult for Black residents to engage fully in civic life. Voting access is particularly vital in assessing a state's political climate. Laws that impose strict voter ID requirements or limit early voting disproportionately affect Black voters, often resulting in lower participation rates in elections. This disenfranchisement not only marginalizes the voices of Black communities but also weakens their influence on policy decisions that affect their lives. Moreover, representation within government bodies is essential for ensuring that the needs and concerns of Black residents are addressed. States where Black individuals hold significant positions in local and state government tend to have better legislative advocacy for issues impacting their communities, such as healthcare access, education reform, and economic opportunities. In contrast, a lack of representation can lead to policies that ignore or even harm Black residents. Understanding the political landscape involves assessing both current legislation and historical trends in governance. States with active movements advocating for racial justice and equitable policies often provide a safer and more supportive environment for Black families. Ultimately, identifying states with a commitment to fostering inclusive political practices can empower individuals seeking not just a place to live but a community where they can thrive. Cultural acceptance is a crucial factor for Black individuals contemplating relocation, as the social climate regarding racial attitudes can significantly affect their quality of life and sense of belonging. In states where racism is prevalent or societal hostility towards Black residents persists, individuals may face daily challenges that can impact their mental and emotional well-being. Some regions of the United States are known for progressive values and inclusivity, where multiculturalism is celebrated and diversity is seen as a strength. These areas often foster environments where Black residents feel welcomed, valued, and supported in their identities. Community events, local initiatives promoting racial equity, and inclusive public policies contribute to a positive social atmosphere that encourages collaboration and understanding among different racial and ethnic groups. In contrast, certain states exhibit more pronounced racial tensions characterized by discriminatory attitudes or actions against Black residents. Incidents of hate crimes, public expressions of racism, or even passive intolerance can create an environment where Black individuals feel unwelcome or unsafe. Such hostility not only affects personal experiences but can also deter potential economic opportunities, leading to further disenfranchisement. Additionally, cultural acceptance extends beyond individual interactions. It encompasses systemic influences that shape how Black communities are treated. For example, states with historical legacies of discrimination may still harbor lingering biases within institutions like law enforcement and education, which further complicates the lived experiences of Black residents. Understanding the cultural dynamics at play in potential new homes is essential for those considering relocation.
Evaluating how well states embrace diversity and inclusion can help prospective movers identify places where they are more likely to flourish personally and professionally. Ultimately, selecting a state that values cultural acceptance fosters not only individual security but also a greater sense of community solidarity among all its residents. Personal stories and experiences provide important insights into the realities faced by Black individuals who have moved to or from various states. These narratives not only illustrate the challenges encountered but also highlight the resilience and adaptability of many individuals in the face of adversity. For instance, a woman named Tamara shared her experience relocating from a southern state known for its historical racism